Hello, I'm Adrian, and welcome to Fight Scene Breakdown. Today we're taking a look at the Knightmare fight sequence from Batman vs Superman. The fight begins as soon as Batman realizes he has been duped, and his first order of business is to get out of the small enclosure they have him in. He quickly deflects the assault rifle, holds it at bay with his left arm, kicks the fake kryptonite box, then draws his sidearm and fires at the enemy in front of him. But the guy next to him isn't down yet, so after a brief scuffle, he receives an elbow to the face and decides to go in for his absolute favorite move, the headbutt. He smacks Superman's soldier across the head with an assault rifle, pushes him out of the way, and shoots him with his sidearm. What precedes here is known as gun fu, or the cooler sounding gun kata, coined in the movie Equilibrium, where we get stylish close quarters gunplay resembling a martial arts battle. With that in mind, note how Batman swings his assault rifle as if it were a tonfa or any other martial arts staff weapon to knock one guy to the ground and sweep the next off his feet. He shoots the following man with his sidearm and tackles him to the ground. Using the rifle as a melee weapon once again, he smacks the guy behind him and uses it to also take out the two incoming men rushing towards him. He fires his pistol, then throws it to prevent the soldier from firing at him, and he then goes in for a quick disarm and control move as he decides to hold the man as a human shield while he shoots at another foe. He throws him away and tries to drag one of his allies to safety, but is overwhelmed by a flurry of hits. A very low side kick to the soldier's leg successfully takes him down, and an elbow and melee hit takes care of the other one. A man goes in for a tackle, but applying the principle from judo of turning your enemy's strength and speed against them, he simply deflects it off of him. He shoots the men behind him and shortly afterwards brutally head slams another, but they continue to close in on him. Despite slamming one man into his knee and cracking the neck of another, he is powerless to stop the soldiers and the parademons. Once we get out of the truck, the entire scene is presented in one long sweeping take with no cuts, echoing the kind of style Zack Snyder favored in his film 300. This grand sweeping camera movement actually meshes well with the choreography, as it is meant to be incredibly showy and less brutal than the warehouse fight scene. The scene is also sepia toned, highlighting how what we're seeing is clearly not actually happening in the current timeline. The camera placement allows us to see the terribly impractical yet cool looking gun strikes, but also makes it a little more obvious on multiple viewings that several soldiers choose to rush at Batman when they could have easily fired on Batman. The speed of the performer's movements also doesn't seem as fast as the warehouse fight scene, as that is the risk you run with a long take. The performer can get tired, and the technique can sometimes not be as precise, as not everyone is a legendary Tony Jaa. Going back to the scene, although I would have much preferred to see him in his full Batman costume rather than a trench coat, I can't deny that it was a flashy sequence that was really well made. What's different about this scene is that it has its own narrative where Batman tries to find kryptonite to take out a clearly mentally unstable Superman and is overwhelmed by his forces. As such, he needs to fight his way out in order to avoid being captured and potentially killed. The scene, while initially jarring in a first viewing, does help to visualize the apocalyptic scenario that could occur if Superman were to turn against humanity, the thing Batman is so afraid of. I will note that it was a tad disheartening to see Batman murder so many people with guns, taking into account his two main rules for modern incarnations have been
no guns, no killing.
But in the film's defense, we are talking about a Batman who has clearly gone off the deep end due to an enraged Superman. He actually reminded me more of the Batman in DC's animated film Flashpoint Paradox. This is the other main Batman fight sequence from the film, and it is incredibly different from the warehouse fight scene. Not only do we have a very different kind of choreography where the main purpose is to provide the flashiest moves, it also takes place in one take and is an apocalyptic dream sequence, resulting in a very peculiar yet memorable scene for the film. What did you guys think of the fight? Which fight would you like me to analyze next? Subscribe, and you can follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and brand new Facebook fan page, Godzilla Rex. See you next time.